Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now guys, the battle between the Malam Buahri regime and the Shiite movement in Nigeria rages on. As you know, Malam Buahri proscribed the Islamic movement of Nigeria, which is the umbrella body of the Shiite movement in Nigeria a few days ago. So he proscribed it and he's banned them. So now they are effectively if they continue to function, then they will be functioning illegally. So now that is the stance that the Malam Buahri regime has taken. So now guys, the Shiite movement have now taken their own stance. So guys, with that, I bring you this. Shiites support Zakzak's daughter, vow to continue protest despite Buhari's proscription, disowns Ibrahim Musa as spokesman. So that's the headline. Shiites support Zakzak's daughter, vow to continue protest despite Buhari's proscription, disowns Ibrahim Musa as their spokesman. So now let's get into exactly what is being said. Despite the proscription order, top members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria, IMN, on Friday, August the 2nd, allied with the decision of daughter of their detained leader, Ibrahim Zakzaki, that protest will continue until her parents are released. The group also disowned the statement issued on Wednesday by its spokesman, Ibrahim Musa, that they have suspended the protest in line with the proscription of the sect by the federal government through a court order. Suhaila Zakzaki, in videos shared on her Facebook page last Thursday, questioned the ban and said the protest will continue until her father is released. A statement by a top member of IMN, Abdullahi Musa, for Academic Forum, Sisters Forum, and Abdul Fadi, said other IMN members were not informed about the ban on protest. Musa said, on the 31st day of July 2019, a press statement titled, "We are temporarily suspending our street protest," and signed by Malam Ibrahim Musa, president of the Media Forum of the Islamic movement in Nigeria, went viral. The article was published and aired by numerous media outlets, both local and international. In the statement, it was written that this was mainly to create openings into the resolution of problems, especially the court case instituted by our lawyers on the proscription order by the federal government this week. It further claimed that if at all any protest occurs anywhere in the country, it might be this notice hasn't reached those in the field, or this message is misunderstood, or it is some security agents who are behind it. First of all, we would like to state for the record that apart from members of the Media Forum, none of us was informed of this prior to seeing it in the papers and online. Secondly, the Media Forum of the Islamic movement is supposed to consist of pressmen and thus has no involvement in the organization of our ceremonies, our protests, or legal activities, amongst others. Thirdly, no decision of the Islamic movement in Nigeria has ever been communicated on the pages of a newspaper. Contrary to what the statement may insinuate, it is important to note that the proscription order was not an act of the federal government of Nigeria, but rather from some Fulani High Court in the capital Abuja. Bear in mind that courts do not make laws, the National Assembly does, and there is a process involved. Under the Constitution, even the president lacks the legal authority to simply pronounce edicts into law. Nigeria is not an absolute monarchy. Most preeminently, the right to protest peacefully is enshrined in the Nigerian Constitution. Impunity is not. The IMN disowns Ibrahim Musa as their spokesman, adding that in the aftermath of the publication of this unfortunately misleading statement, we subsequently tried to investigate the source of this frankly confusing document. We have consulted extensively with fellow followers of Sheikh Ibrahim Zakzakt on this matter. Our only conclusion is that this whole affair was a combination of misinformation, miscommunication, human error, and other significant factors. Here in Abuja, we are legally protesting the illegal detention of our leader and his wife. By doing this for our leader, we are also legally protesting against all forms of illegal detention, extrajudicial killing, amongst numerous other legal perpetrations of injustice by this current administration. The statement signed by Malam Ibrahim Musa of the Media Forum does not in any way reflect the beliefs and convictions of the Islamic movement in Nigeria. A single representative of a forum within the Islamic movement has no authority to single-handedly dictate his opinion on every one of us. Only our leader, Sheikh Zakzakt, may do that. For this reason, we are compelled to caution the media to never treat any further such explicit declarations by any member of the Islamic movement in Nigeria in general, and Ibrahim Musa in particular, without a grain of salt. So that should mean they should treat it really with a grain of salt, is what they're intending to say there. We wish to also explicitly state that we are fully determined to continue our protest. We shall continue our peaceful protest uninterrupted and unhindered till our leader Sheikh Zakzakt is free, for as long as it takes, regardless of obstacles, until Sheikh Ibrahim Zakzakt is free. Our protest continues. So now this is now the position now that the IMN, the Islamic movement in Nigeria, which is the umbrella body for the Shiites, have taken in regards to the proscription that has been put in place by the Buahri regime. Because you will recall, if you have been following this storyline, there was a news feed that came out a couple of days ago purporting to be from this movement, stating that they will comply with the law and they will not protest again, and they will go via the court route instead. So now this really surprised me, because you would expect that people that are so militant in their being would not really be cowards or something like a proscription effectively, because obviously they are already in the throes of a protest anyway, and they are already suffering all these losses. So now a proscription, then you would think, would not be sufficient to then just make them douse or sheave rather their swords, you know. So now these people are now coming out to state that, contrary to that news feed that came out a couple of days ago, they are actually intent on carrying on with their protest, which they say it is something that will continue till their leader is released. So now the stage is now set now for like what plays out next, because the government has now, through this ex parte motion that they got from a court in Abuja, proscribed this group, and this group now, through the legal experts that they have sounded, or the legal opinions that they have sounded, are now of the view that not only is this not legal, that proscription is also unconstitutional, because it goes against one of the fundamental core elements of the Nigerian Constitution, which is a right to protest and a right to free speech. So now this is now their position, and they are now saying that their protest will continue. So now the stage is now set now for when the next protest. So now what then will happen at that next protest is really what we are going to have to wait to see play out. Or will they indeed protest again, or will people be able to plead to their softer senses to sheathe their swords and just wait for the court process to complete? I'm suspecting that they are not going to protest again until there's a judgment from the Kaduna courts regarding their leader. But however that pans out, we would see in the fullness of the course of time. But however that does pan out, you can be sure that we will keep you updated on this channel. And the only way you will be updated is if you clicked on the red subscribe button, so you're subscribed, and then the bell button as well, so you're notified every time I drop a new video. Then once you've done both, come join me in the comment section. Let's share thoughts on this matter. So I'll leave you here, carry on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.